In the 16th century, the Mediterranean was a battleground for empires and a haven for pirates. No name inspired more fear than Barbarossa, the legendary Redbeard. From his fortress in Algiers, he commanded a fleet that terrorized Spain and Italy. But Barbarossa was more than a pirate. He was a master strategist and an admiral of the Ottoman Empire. Born Hızır Reis on Lesbos, he inherited the name Barbarossa from his brother Oruç and later became Hayreddin, goodness of the faith. His base in Algiers became the world's most feared pirate port, launching daring raids across the Mediterranean. Barbarossa's genius lay in his ability to outthink and outfight his enemies, using swift galleys to strike at merchant ships and coastal towns. Yet, he was also a builder of power, forging alliances and establishing a pirate kingdom in North Africa. For Christian Europe, he was a monster. For the Ottomans and North African Muslims, a hero and a savior. He rescued thousands of Moriscos expelled from Spain, embodying both pirate and protector. Barbarossa's life was a tapestry of contradictions, pirate and admiral, slave and king, feared and beloved. This is the story of how Hızır Reis became Hayreddin Barbarossa, master of the Mediterranean. The legend begins here. The Barbarossa saga starts on Lesbos, where Hızır and his brothers grew up by the sea. Their father, a retired Ottoman soldier, and their Greek mother, gave them a multicultural upbringing. Oruç, the eldest, was drawn to the sea first, becoming a merchant sailor and earning the nickname Redbeard. Hızır initially worked as a potter, but the lure of adventure soon pulled him to join Oruç and their brother İlyas. Together, they bought a small ship and began trading, but the Mediterranean was perilous. The Knights of St. John, Christian warriors from Rhodes, attacked their ship. İlyas was killed, and Oruç was captured and enslaved as a galley rower. Hızır escaped, devastated by loss, while Oruç endured brutal captivity for 3 years. Oruç's spirit was unbroken. He escaped, and reunited with Hızır in Anatolia. The brothers' days as peaceful merchants were over. Their suffering forged a new resolve, to fight their Christian enemies and seize power on the sea. The Mediterranean would never be the same. The Barbarossa brothers were now Corsairs, driven by vengeance and ambition. Their journey from humble beginnings to feared pirates had begun. The legend of Redbeard was taking shape. The world would soon know their names. Oruç's escape transformed him. He sought vengeance, not trade. In Antalya he gained the support of Ottoman Prince Sesada Korkut, who gave him ships to fight Christian enemies. Oruç called for Hızır, and together they became a formidable team, Oruç the bold leader, Hızır the master strategist. They set up base on Jerba, launching raids on Christian shipping and quickly gaining fame. Their fleet grew as they captured ships from the Papal States Genoa and Spain. Oruç's red beard earned him the name Barbarossa, a title soon shared by Hızır. Their success attracted Corsairs from across the region, turning their small band into a major force. Spain, expanding into North Africa, became their main enemy. The Barbarossa brothers saw themselves as warriors of Islam, fighting to drive out the Spanish. Their quest for revenge became a holy war entwined with the struggle between empires. The Mediterranean was now their battlefield. The brothers' legend grew with every victory. They were no longer mere pirates, they were power players in a clash of civilizations. The age of Barbarossa had truly begun. Their rise would reshape the fate of the sea. The world watched as their power surged. The Barbarossa brothers set their sights on land, not just loot. In 1516, Algiers, threatened by Spain, called for their help. Welcomed as heroes, Oruç and Hızır drove back the Spanish but soon seized Algiers for themselves, with Oruç declaring himself ruler. Algiers became their stronghold, its wealth and harbor fueling their growing power. Oruç expanded his domain, capturing cities and building a Corsair kingdom. Hızır managed the fleet and logistics, while Oruç ruled as king. Their rapid rise alarmed Spain, which launched a massive counterattack. In 1518, Oruç was killed in battle, his dream of a North African kingdom seemingly crushed. Hızır was left to pick up the pieces. The Spanish believed the threat was over, but the story was far from finished. The spirit of Barbarossa endured. Hızır would not let his brother's legacy die. The fight for North Africa and the Mediterranean was just beginning. The next chapter would be even more dramatic. The world braced for Barbarossa's return. The legend was about to grow. Oruç's death was a blow, but Hızır, now Hayreddin Barbarossa, refused to flee. Surrounded by enemies, he made a bold move, offering Algiers to Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. The Sultan accepted, making Algiers an Ottoman province and Barbarossa its governor. With Ottoman troops and resources, Barbarossa's position was transformed overnight. He was no longer a pirate chief but an official admiral of a superpower. He crushed local opposition and fortified Algiers, building a professional fleet. The pirate king had become a statesman and a symbol of Ottoman might. Now, with imperial backing, Barbarossa was ready to challenge Spain and the Christian powers on a grand scale. The Mediterranean would become the stage for a clash of empires. Barbarossa's alliance with the Ottomans changed the balance of power. His fleet grew stronger, his ambitions greater. The age of piracy had become an age of empire. The world would soon feel the force of Barbarossa's new power. The struggle for the sea was about to reach its peak. The legend of Redbeard was far from over. The greatest battles were yet to come. Backed by the Ottomans, Barbarossa became the Mediterranean's most feared man. His raids devastated Christian coasts. Targeting the vast empire of Charles V, Barbarossa's lightning attacks left towns in ruins and thousands enslaved. Watchtowers sprang up along the coasts, but he was always one step ahead. In 1529 he captured and demolished the Spanish fortress of Penang, securing Algiers harbor. This victory erased the last trace of Spanish power from his capital. The rivalry with Charles V was as much about strategy as it was about force. In 1533, Sultan Suleiman summoned Barbarossa to Istanbul, making him Grand Admiral of the Ottoman Navy. From pirate to admiral, Barbarossa now commanded a vast fleet. His mission challenged Christian powers for control of the Mediterranean. The stakes had never been higher. The sea was now a chessboard for empires. Barbarossa was ready for his greatest challenge. As Grand Admiral, Barbarossa unleashed the full might of the Ottoman fleet. In 1534, he captured Tunis, threatening Spain's sea lanes. Charles V responded with a massive armada, retaking Tunis and forcing Barbarossa to retreat. But Barbarossa struck back, raiding Minorca and capturing thousands of prisoners. His resilience kept the Mediterranean in turmoil. The ultimate test came in 1538 at Preveza, where Barbarossa faced a huge Christian fleet. Outnumbered, he used superior tactics to win a decisive victory, losing no ships while crippling his enemies. The Battle of Preveza secured Ottoman naval dominance for decades. Barbarossa's legend was sealed. He had turned defeat into triumph time and again. The struggle for the Mediterranean raged on, but Barbarossa stood unmatched. His name became synonymous with naval mastery. The age of Redbeard had reached its zenith. The sea belonged to Barbarossa. After Preveza, Barbarossa was the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. He served the Sultan, even allying with France against Charles V. In 1543 his fleet wintered in Toulon. The cathedral turned into a mosque, a symbol of his reach. In 1544 Barbarossa retired to his palace in Istanbul, dictating his memoirs. He had avenged his brother, built a kingdom, and shaped an empire. Barbarossa died peacefully in 1546, mourned across the Ottoman world. His tomb in Istanbul became sacred to sailors, who saluted him before every campaign. His legacy securing North Africa for the Ottomans and dominating the Mediterranean for a generation. Barbarossa was a strategist, a statesman, and a legend. His name lives on in Turkish naval tradition. The boy from Lesbos became the Lion of the Sea. His story endures as one of the greatest in maritime history. The legend of Barbarossa sails on.